Welcome. I have enslaved Nas in my garage. He is working off, I don't know, something. I was going to say something like, I don't know. But he's here and he's working on the car. Yeah, and he's not enslaved. He's doing this because he likes to. That's an amazing thing. And the little Honda is so happy to know that it's getting some love from somebody who's actually handy with the wrenches rather than handy with the words. So not that Nas isn't handy with words, but he's handier with wrenches than I am. And so this thing gonna kick off in just a little bit here. We got our parts all lined up. Got new parts and old parts and the right tools for the right thing. And we're gonna put the timing belt back in the thing, and hopefully the thing will work and it'll be ready to drive again. Next steps: the return of the timing belt. Yep. Hopefully there isn't a part three. So there it is. Hangout will be starting here promptly at 3 o'clock.
microphone.
Welcome. It's been a busy day. Yeah, just a little while ago, the fastest EV dragster in the world was sitting right here. And I was talking with the owner and racer of that one, Steve Huff. And now, and you were here.
I was here.
You're a witness. I'm not lying.
I saw it. I have pictures to prove it.
Some of y'all might be witnesses as well. And hey, you know what? We're starting this show one time today. One time. It's perfect. So it's Nas has cleverly labeled this episode as the return of the timing belt, which is some sort of a vengeance upon things that are broken. He's our hero, okay? I'm the commentator, the narrator on the side who kind of tells the story. Here is your hero, okay? He's the guy that knows how to work the metal bits. He's much handier than I am.
As long as you read to me.
Yeah, and I will be reading to you. Here's your instructions for the day. Do everything that you did last time, but backwards.
That was a week ago.
Well,
it's
what it says.
I got it.
It's the idiot's guide.
It is.
Okay, it's you know. But then again, you know, we're not idiots here. We're professionals.
We are
in our own right.
Semi-idiots.
I don't know. No, I mean, there's really no mental incapacity going on here. Maybe a little more capability on his part than mine. But yeah, it's just one of those juxtapositions of improper language that humans use to express this is the easy way. This is the way. So what we're doing today, I don't know if you watched before, and welcome, hey, thanks for hanging out. We're putting the car back together. There's the timing belt is off, the timing belt cover is off, the motor mount is out, lots of little bits and bobs over on his side of the car are out, and today we're going to put them back in. Look at this. Just in case Rock Auto would like to sponsor me, Rock Auto sent us this awesome box of stuff that I paid for. But it's belts and bits and bobs, and 10 more bobs if you're watching, Bob. So we got new bits to put in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, Bob's special. When you have a gamer tag like Bob, you got to do it right. So, who's here with us? What's up, Sonic Simon? Good to see you again. I hope you're doing well, sir. Hail Ghost Bro. I told you. Rockitude. Hellrain God. What's up, Mark Lee? How's it going? Wizard. What's up, Wizard? Posted on the Twitchers page, my friend. Loving that Twitchers page. Loving it. Down. So, Nuz, do you want to get immediately to work, or would you like me to go on with the antics?
You can continue with the antics, and I can get to work.
Okay,
that's
cool.
The beautiful thing about this process.
That's kind of how it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I really like? I really like the analogy, the metaphysical relationship between wheeler dealers and Ed and
Ed China and yes,
and
Mike
and Ed. I mean, I'm a little thinner than Mike, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm a bit more handsome. Mike's a great guy. I've got the beard. He doesn't have the beard. Okay, so I'm gonna give myself credit to that. And Nas is not quite as tall as Ed, but
you get into tighter places than.
But otherwise, we're exactly the same. So it really could be. So I mean, I like that idea. I'll find broken cars. And then I'll talk about how awesome you are at fixing them while you fix them.
That works.
And then we'll sell them, and the world will be a better place. And something like that. Why did Ed China ever leave though? Because I don't want to make whatever mistakes Mike made that made Ed China leave. Or was that
since Mike's on his third mechanic, it might not be Ed's fault. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you think it's the network? Is it the network? Does anybody know, actually? Because there's probably a story out there.
Because Ant left, too. He had Ant Anstead as his mechanic after Ed. Ant just left as well. Ant did his own show.
I don't know. I don't think Mike could be the problem as producers. because anything that's going on there, unless I don't think Mike is listed as the producer.
Ed didn't have a lot nice to say when he left. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Mike might have been like, I'm the star of this show! You just turn the wrenches and do what I say! Ed might have been like, dude, I'm handsomer than you, I'm taller than you, I know how to fix stuff. I'll have my own show. I don't even need you, actually, because finding cars to work on isn't the hard part. Right?
I collect broken things.
Here, perfect segue to the shirt there. Covering up all
I
that.
bought this just for you,
It's not going to fit me, dude.
But you can't wear it.
Yeah. But see, so it works. It works for the title of the show today, for sure. So if you could just have a new shirt for every show, that'd be great. Okay. Thanks.
Got it.
No, I'm not going to go the way of rude diva types because been there, done that. No, we're working on the car today. So if you're watching, this is the John and Juana garage. I'm John and Juana. The guy over here, the guy on the jack, the guy jacking the jack. That's Nas. You can call him Chris if you like. But this is a 1978 Honda. It's got 115,000 miles on it. It's a sweetheart of a car, although the timing belt failed. Just exactly as it should, right when it should. Fortunately, less than a block from my house. And we verified that on the last show, and Nas was kind enough to pull the thing apart and pull the timing belt out and prove to us that the timing belt was failed. And we ordered all our stuff from Rock Auto, and the stuff came, and here it is. We're going to put a new timing belt, alternator belt, air pump belt, and valve cover gasket, and maybe a motor mount if the motor mount arrives in time, because it was supposed to be here on Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, and it's 3 o'clock on Wednesday, but it's still not here yet. So we might be putting the old motor mount back in. That's this little bob that holds the motor up. So it's kind of important. And a new one will be cool. So it's really just the rubber bit of that motor mount. It's not the actual metal part that we got, right? It's just the rubber that goes. It is, huh?
Yep.
My vision of that part that you sent the link to looks different than that
square.
part. So
same thing, but it's just square.
Okay, so it's just got the holes in the right places.
Yep.
We'll leave that one alone. So do you want me to start reading this backward to you, because that could be kind of exciting here? Let's see. Oh wait. We actually might have. Did they actually put? They may have actually put. They did. They put this in.
Did we assembly instructions?
Yeah, I think there is. Remove the washer. Remove the remains of the belt. Okay, yeah, I think we could pick up here at we left off at step 13. Remove the remains of the belt and clean up. Remove the old belt or its remains, which we did. Clean out the debris and pieces of the old belt from around the crankshaft timing belt gear. So I'm pretty sure we did that, or we are doing it.
Now I'm just trying to get the new. I'm actually just trying to get the old pulley on. Just so I can double check the crank position.
The crank position.
Make sure she was at top dead center.
And then and there are kind of fun pictures in this book here, but I'm not going to show you because who knows, that might be some sort of copyright thing. But there's nice pictures here of a man's hands, somebody's hands. I don't know if it's a man by any means, pulling off the timing belt from the top. We didn't have to do that part because it was just broke and it fell off.
I still yanked it off from the top, if you remember.
That would be you were following instructions before instructions were built.
Instructions were there.
Step 14 here. What we're going to be getting onto is put on the new timing belt. Please don't crimp the belt or twist it more than you have to. It will fit tightly onto the gears. Put the belt first on the crankshaft timing belt gear, and when the camshaft, and then on the camshaft timing belt gear. Did I say the same thing twice there? Oh, sounds kind of the same, and if you're not a pay attention, or you might have missed the entire point of that, let me read it again. Put the belt first on the crankshaft timing belt gear, and then on the camshaft timing belt gear. See, I mean, that's kind of confusing. They both start with C, they both end in shaft, and So yeah, it's distracting in the very least. How are you doing, by the way? Yeah, today's actually a big day. I think going forward, I think on days when we have or maybe I'm just a wuss. I don't know. But when there's a John Want a Garage Show, Cars for Forza, and we have guests and stuff, I put a lot of energy into that, and it's like my energy just gets. Doing another show today, I was kind of stressed about this. But that's me. I kind of stress about a lot of things that really aren't worth the additional energy it takes to stress about stuff. This is the life advice portion of the show. Is try not to stress, because all you're doing, you're really just using more energy that isn't helping. I think there's a saying from Kurt Vonnegut that stressing out about something is about as effective as trying to solve a math problem by chewing bubble gum. So just think about that for a second. And I know a lot of times we stress, and when I say we, I mean me. It's kind of beyond your control, but you do have some awareness of it. And if you can tell yourself, "Hey, just chill out, man, chill out. Think about puppies or something. Watch another show. Think about something else. Actively redirect your mind from the cyclical thought of, oh my God, tomorrow's going to be such a long day. It's going to be so hard. So there's a lot of stuff weighing on the whole day. And oh my God.
Oh, that's why I was up all night.
Plus 10 oh my gods, right?
That's why I was up all night.
See, you did the same thing?
I did this. Oh, yeah, I was up until... much like Steve, I was up until about 3.
Yeah, I wasn't up until 3, but, and I'm not, like, really stressed. I'm not, like, worrying about it. It's more kind of like...
Just running
shit through... Oops.
Running stuff through your brain.
Running stuff through your brain over and over again, and then I have to, like, hold myself and be like, stop, refocus. Do you feel me? Because this is a thing, and I think I lived most of my life going around not really aware that I actually had control over that to a certain degree. And once you realize that moment that you can actually make choices, and it's not like you instantly go, "Oh, don't do that," and all of a sudden you don't have stress anymore.
Let me see the
The lower
the lower cover where the mark is at. There's that's the top, isn't it? This is the lower. See, this is the lower. There's the mark. This goes on top, like so. Lower and upper.
Can you tell which one I cleaned?
Yeah. I just need to use this for a second just to measure. So.
Okay. Yeah, and then I will do some more cleaning on that one.
Okay.
I was gonna maybe clean up on the valve cover too. This might be the ASMR part of the show. Tell me if you like this sound.
Let me get it up.
Is that pleasing?
Just so I can verify we're at TC.
That sound? Can you hear that sound? Is that pleasing to the ear? It's kind of pleasing to me. I'm just cleaning up around the Honda logo here.
So what I'm going to do again is I'm going into plug number 1. And I'm going to stick a screwdriver in there.
My God, this looks so much better. I've spent all of 2 minutes polishing the little Honda logo on the valve cover, and it looks so way cooler. Talk through what you are.
I'm looking for top dead center on the plug. Verifying top dead center on the plug. There's too long. The best way to do that is to ideally we'd have like a piece of welding wire or something, but a long narrow screwdriver will work too. What I'm doing is I'm putting in the number 1 plug hole.
That's the longest, narrowest one.
Yeah, I don't know if I need a long, narrow one or a short one, but so I'll bring both. Put in the number 1 plug hole. Then I'm turning the crank. That turns the rotating assembly. When it hits the top, then that's top dead center. If it's on the right screw.
Anybody, when he said stroke, did anybody think Billy Squire? I did. And that's okay, because Billy Squier is one of the greatest songwriter rockers of the late 70s. And even if you aren't a fan right now, you might find that you could be, because he seriously got so many hits. And as a kind of pop, kind of rock singer-songwriter, it's really amazing the amount of hits that he had. The Stroke being probably the most popular of his hits, but there's so many good ones. Rock Me Tonight being one. Rock Me Tonight. Yeah, but this is my era. This is what I do. Is I reminisce about things I used to listen to that I still listen to that pop into my head like that. Wow, this brush is so amazing. It really is making such a huge difference. Am I actually scratching the heck out of this? I don't think I am. It's looking better. I'd like to actually polish this entire thing. Spend like a day with a little polishing thing on it, because that will look really cool. Would you like to see? See, doesn't that look? Can you imagine how dirty it was? Yeah, these are the things that I that make my car projects take a lot longer when I do work, because I will sit, and this is kind of it's good work to do this, but I will also do this because it's procrastination. It's procrastination about doing the actual work of which I am, kind of stressed out about, or not sure that it's going to work out well. Oh, woodchuck, key,
right. Come on.
wood.
Nope. Woodruff key.
Woodruff key. Woodruff key.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got you there.
Yeah, so we got the Woodruff key. It's right there with the lower timing. That is the Crankshaft Pulley. Yes? The heavier duty one, because the crank is a much larger piece of material that rotates than the camshaft.
But the crank also has a smaller pulley.
The crank is a smaller pulley than the camshaft.
Yes, because the crank turns faster than the camshaft.
Okay.
I mean, the camshaft, yes. No, the camshaft turns faster than the crank. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
You said it wrong.
But what you said about size is true,
Yes.
because a larger one is going to mean less rotations. Correct? See, this is the math part of the show, and this is where I kind of nod my head and go yes. But that does actually make sense. And but I am personally right at the moment. Last week, so we did this last week. I keep saying we, and I kind of mean that, and I use this in my social post. The royal we, okay, which I'm stealing from the Big Lebowski, which he's stealing from the Queen's English. We, the royal we, worked on the Honda last week and took the timing belt off, and so royalty being Nas, of course, because he was doing 99.5% of the work. The 0.5% I did was moving some of the parts over to here and organizing them. But so we did that each time I say that, I'm kind of like, I want to acknowledge you. We did this last week. On the show, we did this last week. And then Thursday was the Thursday Forza show that I did. And then I was like, I'm out. And I Tom.
Who the hell am I? Who the heck am I talking to?
You can call me Tom.
I know. John.
Yes.
Come look. What's that look like?
Well, one, I see a timing belt on there that looks like a new timing belt that's not broken.
Look at that. It's a new timing belt on there.
That
sure
is. It really, it does. It looks nice.
It does.
It looks so nice. Let's not put the cover back on.
Okay. Or we could go like the JDM guys and get a clear cover for the top, so we can see.
And some of them do actually leave the cover off because
or they get a clear cover. They also are making clear covers now especially on like the K's and stuff. The Nissan engines, a lot of them have clear covers for the.
I think sometimes they leave the cover off because they didn't have the money to buy it. They're like, hey, screw it. It's cheaper. We can buy more. I don't know.
Underglow.
With more underglow lighting. Yes. We can go watch Fast and Furious. And I don't know. I'm not making fun of those of anybody who does car stuff, but some people cut corners for a lot of different reasons and say that it was for a good reason.
And some people focus on the wrong thing sometimes.
Yeah, and then also some people just have different tastes. Some people are so handy at changing out stuff like that they don't care that.
You rock out. You always get magnets from rock out.
I got it. Oh, I had yes, there. I knew there was one more of those in there. Yes, thank you. So yeah, Rock Auto. Another little magnet. The other one's actually on my fridge. What is that? That is
That looks like a Coronet, or it's like
a 4-door Cuda.
It's a Plymouth, or does it say?
It does say what it is.
I'm looking from a distance. What does it say it is?
I mean, look at it. It looks like a 4-door Cuda, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's a satellite, isn't it?
No, it's a Collector Series 382. So it is some sort of weird thing. Because it's not.
No. 382 is the number in the Collector Series of that card.
John's Plymouth.
So it's John's Plymouth, and it looks like a 4-door satellite.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a mid-70s Fury.
I think we're closer with satellite, but it's an odd year. Because I'm fairly familiar with most of the cars of that era, and I would immediately say satellite or Dodge Coronet Plymouth Satellite, but the lines are a bit cooler and smoother. What is it?
I'm looking right now.
What is it?
John's Plymouth.
Northwest Bunny.
There's no car part in them.
There isn't?
No.
Good. That means it has not been arrived yet. Look at, she's here.
Is it on?
Yeah. We are putting the new timing belt on.
We are.
Oh, your fingers are dirty.
I'm cleaning. Look. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
His hands are dirtier than mine.
Because I'm not as careful about the work I do. I obviously get into a lot more dirt than he
You
does.
got across
Yeah.
your forehead.
Excellent.
We all have our strengths.
That's like me. Yeah.
You should see her when she works on cars. She's got it like
Painting. You should have seen me
Yeah.
painting.
she is
I
definitely.
can't paint when
I got
John's
some on my shoe.
around. I don't paint.
That's the new color of Butler's Pantry.
Yeah. See.
There's
I can't find it, so I'm
there's wonderful things going on in this relationship. So Northwest Bunny brought home this giant boot. It's a
Did you
giant
see it?
ceramic
I saw
boot sitting
your
on her back
I
deck.
think
It's
it's
a
heavy.
huge boot.
It's pretty cool. It's
Isn't
a
it
random giant ceramic boot. And here's
It's
the
cement. It's heavy.
oh, it's not ceramic. It's cement.
It's cement.
Huh.
I almost needed your help to carry it out of
Even
my
more
car.
interesting. So what the nice thing is that she brings home giant cement boots, and I don't go, is that why did you get that? Plus, I in this case I actually think it's cool. But
Because
when
we have a car in our garden and car parts
and
hanging
when
on the
I want
garage.
to put a car in the garden, I just do it. And,
Yeah.
and actually, I consult her before, and she
Car
brought
doors.
she brought it up. She brought the boot up before she brought it home, and I'm sure it was in a certain way testing the waters to see if he was like, did he like it? Was he like, don't bring that home? And
I'm on the fence about it too.
we learned something when we bought when we bought the Caliente from Farmer Joe out in Enumclaw, and that's the name of the city I was trying to remember the other day when I was talking about my Beetle that I was driving around, and the sheriff pulled me over and he said, "Put your flashes on, nobody can see you." We learned something because the Farmer Joe out there, he had like 30 cars laying around the property, and the wife had a bunch of chairs up in the tree. Okay, and they were obviously quite happy. They were in their 70s, and they both admitted that that he was like, she doesn't ask me a question about when I tow some other junky car home, and I don't ask her a question when she puts chairs in the tree. and
they
so
were pretty cool, the chairs in the tree.
life lesson, so. But at the same time, I don't think we are quite as open as that is. you know, that there's a, you know, if I wanted to bring a car home, I would say, what do you think about this car?
Do you like the boot?
I do like the boot.
Is it hard? It's hard not to like, isn't it? Like I was like, I don't need that boot, but it's free. I'm gonna take that boot.
Yeah. So I'll post a picture of it. People are like, I can't even read chat, but I know people are like, what does the boot look like?
Well, because I went for the milk can, right? Because I collect those because it's farmhousey for our farmhouse, and the boot came with the milk can.
It was in the ad. It said, "Take it all."
Take it all.
Oh no. Okay, so it is a satellite.
72 Plymouth Satellite 4-door. That looks. Look at the
Looks
glass
way
design.
cooler jacked up like
It
that.
does. It does. Yes.
Excellent though. Excellent. So yeah. So that's kind of how it works here. I know a lot of other relationships. The man or the woman, or the man and the man, or whatever the situation is, they ask their partner for permission.
No.
And I think permission, that's not my bag, baby. But I think a community decision, rather than just doing something, especially if it involves money and space and the style of your home, that there is some consultation.
But
at
sometimes
least.
you just sneak stuff in and see if they notice.
So in my situation, after 35 years, it's definitely a discussion. We may not always agree, but there's at least a discussion, and then
She can tell if you
that.
really want it, and you can
Yeah.
tell if she really wants it, and you love each other, so
And
you will.
we may use it, and we may use it sometimes just to get something else too. Like, yeah, I can give in on that. You give in on this, and compromise.
So long as it's
we
not
married
too-
35 years. There's
like
some compromise.
in the
there.
case of the farmer and his wife, there, they may have gone a bit too extreme because dude seriously had like 30 dead cars around his whole property, and the woman had chairs in a tree. So I use that as kind of an extreme example. But this is the relationship advice portion of our show. Moving on.
Brandon just says Niles has the same rule with his wife, but it's horses instead. Horses and dogs, Brandon. Horses and dogs.
Horses and dogs. Horses and dogs.
Do you have
That sounds-
horses?
We have one horse.
What?
It's actually my daughter's, but that's the only reason we bought 2.5 acres, because she wanted a horse. You got to have at least a horse in Washington, or at least an acre in Washington, if you want a horse.
Yes. We have an acre.
And 10,000
We have a
plastic
shy
ones.
acre.
That's the other point. So my wife collects Briars, which is a plastic model horse that
Okay.
has been around since the 50s. We have thousands.
Wow, seriously?
Literally thousands.
Wow, this is almost a problem.
Brandon, is it almost a problem?
He's like, Mom doesn't think so.
Right, I think so. Exactly.
No, but if they give you joy, then you do it. You're not gonna stop your partner from being happy. But if your partner is, ruining your life or ruining their own life, perhaps by making choices, because hoarding is a thing, right? And certainly cars are something that people hoard.
I'm feeling a little attacked right
You
now.
are a collector of a lot of things, so I know that you have to give me a little leeway. Like a collector. Collector.
Yes, Leslie.
Did you see how cool this stuff looks on camera, though?
It looks great.
Did you see see? This is my job. I always get to go back to this. This is my job.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you can't do what you want to do, but it does mean that by having all this particular stuff allows us
it's in
to
the house,
live this
too.
life of leisure that we have.
Yeah.
Don't shake your head like this. This is a freaking life of leisure. Yeah. She's smiling and shaking her head. Yes,
I need to
yes.
take a
I know,
nap
yes.
because I'm tired.
Don't even talk to me about that.
Of the way you're saying things.
We did not did not get a nap to get today either.
Oh,
We?
did not.
You always get napped.
The royal we. I did not get one today.
I
So if I seem a bit grumpy,
So I've
It's not
actually
my
gotten
fault.
a lot better. My problem is if I only get 6 hours of sleep, I gotta have a 2-hour nap, or I'm just
Done.
my body hits in that mid-afternoon. So the doctors fixed that a little bit, so now I don't get that mid-afternoon slump.
man, how about
Last night mid-afternoon, I drank a bottle of I drank the Celsius, at about 3 o'clock, and that wasn't a good idea because
I can't.
the caffeine stuck with me till.
I can't do those.
Because I'm on
any caffeine,
so
anything past the morning.
Yeah.
Or I'm screwed.
Yeah, I shouldn't have passed noon. Lesson learned.
But I get it though; they're tasty.
Celsius
How about Steve Huff though? Steve Huff.
Did he do the burnout?
Oh yes, he did.
I know I didn't park because I didn't want my feet to stick to the ground, so I parked further.
3 or 4 of them.
Right in my parking spot.
Yeah, but he's been through chemo rounds, radiation, and all this, and he's up till 3:30 last night working on his car to be here by 8.
He didn't seem tired.
He let us know, but he's a professional and he pulled through.
And that's just the way some people are. Some people are able to operate like that. I don't know. I'm past the point of I'm past the point of wanting. I don't like to stay up that late anymore. I just
You're not gonna clean this up for me?
I was
like, you have one job.
I was cleaning this up, but I could clean that up.
Yeah, if you could, because then I can get the covers.
Is this ready
I
to
can't
go
get
on?
the pulleys on until the covers are on.
So this is going on now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So is the belt on and stuff?
Timing belt's already on.
Timing belt's on?
Yeah.
This is simple green that I'm spraying here, so it's non-toxic. It's also green and it smells nice. Some people actually let me ask you this: do you know what simple green smells like? Do you think it smells nice? Because some people I think it smells nice. Some people, though, I have heard it said by some that I can't stand the smell of that stuff, and it's probably because I don't know, something related to their early childhood and some trauma that happened, or maybe they were forced to clean auto parts with simple green when they knew that they wanted to use some sort of heavy detergent degreaser instead, and maybe they just don't like the name because simple green just says exactly what it is. It's so easy. I use it because, well, I don't want chemicals on my hands, for one.
Is that the metal brush or is that
This is the plastic one.
Okay.
And I do actually like the smell that it has. And supposedly when you get it on like the ground or stuff or animals, it doesn't hurt them. And I like that because, the planet is far beyond saving. But if we can at least all try to save our own space a little bit and be aware of things. I mean, if I wanted to do this right and fast, you get yourself a can of brake cleaner, and you don't put gloves on, no, because it freezes your hands, and that feels weird and fun. And then you spray this on here, and it just sprays stuff off, and everything it touched turns into some sort of chemical. I don't know.
Although honestly, at this point, I would, if I had a shop and I was working on it on a regular basis, I would just have someone. I would get a parts cleaner and have someone come do the service on it because there's plenty of low chemical cleaners now that are available. And the easiest way, honestly, to handle those is just have someone come in. They back up, they suck out the old stuff, they stick in new stuff.
And if you have gloves and a nice contained system like that, where you can, and if you're a proper shop that has,
a lot of those systems aren't as harsh as the old ones.
Yeah, they recycle a lot of the material. But honestly, I mean, for most of my purposes, simple green. Look at how dirty this thing was and how quickly it's coming up. Right, this is actually you can't see on camera. I'm going to show you when it's done. But this is the lower timing belt cover, and it is caked with grease. It's like Nas. Do you think the timing belt never been done in this car before, right?
No, I would say not.
115,000 miles of gunk.
Well, no. I don't think we still aren't sure if this is the original engine.
I am still going with the fact that it is because it makes my car more valuable.
Okay. my like I said, my only concern is that timing, that cam gear, and that could be a misprint in the book, possible. But.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna talk to guys because guys will know, since they were the ones that fixed on this car, whether they swap the motor out of it because I would think that they would have. What do you look for?
The socket set.
Socket set is what you just touched.
I did touch it. Okay.
And maybe that wants to set on a chair over there.
Okay, I can do that.
Because we're getting kind of limited for space here. But guys, WRX, I think that if it would have been, not that they were trying to hide anything, but when they were telling me about the car, I think they would have said, Oh, and one of the things when we rebuilt this car, one of the things we did is we took the engine out of this other car. Because I wasn't like, oh, it's all original. I don't want it. It's not all original. No. So that's my thinking there. But it could have also easily just been an oversight on their part.
That's right. The socket, the plug socket is not in there.
Yes, thank you. Up here. The larger ones.
Right here. That's the one I need right there. And my noisy ratchet.
Yeah. You know what we should have done? We should have just put this in the dishwasher. Because then it would have just come out clean, nice.
Short extension.
This is a dirty thing though.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm trying to do this somewhat delicately because this timing belt cover is already cracked in a couple places, and we don't want to crack it anymore. But it will look nicer. Sorry if I'm not seeing your comments in chat as I'm doing this, because we're actually trying to really work and make progress on this. It has been quite a day, a night of somewhat not entirely fitful sleep. Worrying about, thinking about cyclically, thinking about the task of the day coming ahead, and a fairly early start. And then really cool people showing up with really cool electric dragsters and wanting to make sure that one has really cool questions to ask and that everything's in order. Thank you to Northwest Bunny this morning. Was like, do you have any coffee out there or anything? And I was like, no, but I wish I did, but I didn't. And so she went out and got a thing of coffee and donuts, Chuck's Donuts, the best donuts in the world, and brought those here so that there's actually like 5 people here watching the show live, which is the most people we've ever had. We, again, have ever had, here in the actual studio watching. It's usually been like maybe 1 person, maybe 2 on a couple occasions.
I'm going to need that rag so I can wipe this up too, because we have to reuse this, remember?
Yep. In that drawer there might be another rag. Yes. Yeah, I did make 1 parts run to try and get those new ones, and all the guy saw was discontinued. Okay. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, you went to Honda and asked, and they laughed at you?
No, not Honda. No, because they definitely would have. They would have been like 78.
Right.
We stopped for
Wow,
yeah,
it's got a lot of belt rub in it, huh?
It looks like it does. Would that tell you that the timing belt was wearing out for some time?
No.
Loose?
No, it's weird that that's the crank gear, and it might just be over time. This is flexed and warped from heat. There's the bottom timing cover for anyone that was wondering.
Mm-hmm. Is that clean enough? You're going to take it as it is? If you're ready, I'm fine with.
I just want to make sure.
So there's that.
Did you post the burnouts?
No.
Oh, I kept looking.
No, I have
I
not.
looked twice.
There was well, as you can see, the garage is back to garage
Back
mode.
to garage mode.
That took a significant amount of time, and that is pretty much what I did. But they're not as dramatic as.
Was it loud?
No, it was totally quiet.
Oh well.
I have video of it too that I'll
But
post.
they're very short. There's actually more sound than that. There's actually more sound than that as well.
The final sound is the brakes.
That's the big one.
The squeak at the end is him hitting the brakes so hard, so he doesn't shoot through the fence.
So, you can see. I mean, he's really smart to not push it any harder than that, right?
You gotta be able to stop.
He still had maybe 20 more feet that he could have, but this, is like his entire deal. So, yeah, it turns out that drag race tires, they're kind of sticky, and so doing a burnout is, it heats them up, and when you heat them up, they get even stickier. So yeah, so we don't have the John Force length driveway. We have a really major driveway, as you've seen, but Steve was not able to do the full John Force style burnout because he didn't want to wreck his dragster. But you see the marks out there. Yeah. They're mighty. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of rubber laid down there in just that small space there.
And
he did 3.
It was his first test hits.
Yeah, those are that's the cool thing too.
Did you have to do it in my parking spot?
I told him to do wherever he wanted that gave him the most space, and so he picked out the longest.
Is it gonna pull my shoes off if I walk through it?
No. That's not Hoosier goo.
Oh, it's not like it was in here. That's nice.
No, these are a higher tech, different style of. You can walk right on it now, and it's already dry.
Okay.
Yeah. We told the story. We told the story of the bad hombre.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I could just do a burnout right out of if we put the dragster, we could do a burnout right out of the garage in here." And I was like, Northwest Bunny said no, and because she's smart.
Clean it off the kitchen floor.
Not a good James.
Yeah, we can take a nap.
Oh, did you hear what he said?
Oh, so that's terrible.
Let me. Are you saying anything, chat? John, is that a dent on the wing? No, there's no dents in this car. Leslie Newell, welcome. No, there's no. Nope, it's just lighting. There's no dents. No dents in this car. There's one tiny dent in the bottom of the driver door. The bottom of it. You can't even see unless you're laying on the ground. Just Donut. Whoa, lofty claim when Dockside Donuts existing to go. Hey, just Donut? Hey, man, I love me some donuts. I'd love to come down and try Dockside Donuts, but seriously, Chuck's Donuts, can't touch them. And particularly, and I love maple bars. Maple bars is probably my favorite donut. And Chuck's Donut makes the best maple bars. Did you have one of them, Nas?
Oh, no, I didn't, but is there bacon on them?
You could have bacon on them, but the difference is that how most...
So Dockside only makes them with bacon. Their maple bars have bacon on them naturally. That's just the way they come.
That's a bacon maple bar.
It is.
And that's tasty. But you don't have to have bacon on everything.
Well, I would disagree!
Contrary to some thinking. But the frosting they put on a Chuck's maple bar, it's actually like frosting. It's kind of whipped. Versus your standard maple bar that's kind of a crusty icing. And we've had this discussion on stream previously too, the difference between icing and frosting. And so the maple bar itself, while it's fairly typical fluffy, the right amount of chewiness, whatever, but it's that frosting, that maple frosting that they put on there as opposed to your standard maple bar icing that makes it different.
I think one of the questions you need to answer though is, have you tried that apple butter?
Yes, I did. In fact, we don't buy any food in this house. We get all of our food from Gleans. Do you know what a Glean is? Look it up. It's really awesome. Some awesome people that are in touch with certain people that work at certain stores that I can't name, or they wouldn't be able to do it. Rather than throwing away a bunch of stuff that is kind of close to the expiration date, or for any number of reasons the store doesn't want to sell anymore, there are people that collect that stuff and then redistribute it to people that want it. And so I went.
Is that like Bountiful Basket? Same thing?
I don't know what Bountiful Basket is, but this is just a bunch of people. In this case, they've they're right up the road, and they collect from big stores. And it's you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's meat, sometimes it's baked goods, sometimes it's vegetables, sometimes it's canned stuff, sometimes it's a little bit of everything. And we get a lot of stuff from them because I'd rather spend my money on Porsche stuff or timing belts and stuff. And so the point I'm getting to is that this particular glean had a lot of bread. Because bread is something that stores throw away all the time, even though it's perfectly good, but it's not fresh, right? And it's not even day old. It's like eat it that day or it becomes a rock. It's not rotten at all. It's not nasty, but it's kind of like you should probably eat it right now, otherwise it's going to get really crusty. So my point being, I had this loaf of bread, and I forget what kind it's called, some really fancy bread that probably would have cost like $8, and I cut it up. I cut it up into slices. It became sliced bread. And I ate several pieces with your apple butter on it, and boy, was it tasty. It was really tasty.
I spend a lot of time making that.
It was very yummy. And in fact, it helped me eat that. I was proud to say that I ate an entire loaf of bread in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Which probably wasn't my greatest life accomplishment.
I probably, like, people get upset when I give away my apple butter. I'm just like,
It's mighty good. If you ever get a chance to get some Naz's apple butter, consider yourself blessed, because I don't know what I did to earn it, but I'm thankful. That's for sure. And we have apple trees here and plum trees, and there have been people that have come and pick some of our fruit, because while we do eat a lot of it, and now with the goats help us to eat a lot of the fruit. We can't eat it all. The apple tree provides thousands and thousands of apples, so we give away some because Heather gives back to that community, that Buy Nothing community, and then those people that come and take our fruit, they make stuff out of it, and then they give us some of what they made out of our fruit. So it's a cool thing. There's so much potential for giving back and making use of things that otherwise would just go in the garbage or go to waste. And part of my life philosophy, and definitely Northwest Bunny brings this to life a lot, is doing stuff like that. I don't think I was never a part of these groups, so it's something that she has brought into our life. And I feel really good about it, and I really love eating all that stuff, knowing that I didn't buy it.
So we used to have a really nice group in our area that they bought direct from farmers and direct from producers.
Uh-huh.
And then we'd go pick up the food. Her semi once a month, or once every 2 months, and it would be boxes of strawberries or boxes of blueberries or chicken or whatever she could make the best deals on, and if you order it, we'll buy in bulk. Even at the lowest, there's 5 of us in the house, so bulk is never a bad idea for me.
Yeah, and well, I hate Costco. It's actually let me rephrase that. It's love-hate, because when I go to Costco, I definitely enjoy walking up and down every aisle and finding all the cool stuff they have. Because they have cool stuff, and they have great deals. And I love having a case of canned green beans versus just a couple cans of green beans. But I do not like the lifestyle that Costco kind of promotes, which is buy mass stuff. I guess it makes sense. I don't know entirely why I'm against it.
Right. For someone, wait. So remember who you are, because I've talked to you, and you have a very, very strong aversion to packaging.
Yeah.
So if I buy five packs of chicken or 1 big pack, which one should suit your sensibilities better?
Yeah, but Costco is also guilty of packaging. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out why. I don't want to lose that. Anyways, we don't even need to talk about how I feel about Costco, because it's completely irrelevant to how anybody else might feel about it. And the fact is, they got good deals on stuff, and a lot of people shop there. And now without Northwest Bunny, I wouldn't go to Costco. But she likes to go there, and because she likes to save money and make stuff. So we go there. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that you shouldn't go to Costco, because I go to Costco. This is not the shopping advice portion of the show.
But it is the we're discussing John and Naj show, so
John
worked on the car.
Just Donuts says, I got a jar of apple butter in my fridge now. Oh, that's your son.
That is my kid. Yeah.
Aha, that's why. Okay, yes. That's how I know how you got the apple butter. Yeah. Okay. Rain God, you can freeze bread, use the same day you can frost, or toast it from frozen. Yeah. Rain God, you're totally right. My freezer is like totally full, and I will not buy like a big chest freezer. I just will not.
Again, 5 people in my family. There's a garage freezer and a house freezer.
Yeah. Another thing, chest freezers are bad. I don't want them.
You have 2 people on a consistent basis, and then Hudson on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a big freezer is just going to be a reason for you to hoard food.
Yep. Leslie DeWelsh, every day a food charity comes to our store to collect food like that, and they dispense it to families that struggle to pay for groceries and struggle like eating. Yes. So I mean, there are so many. I mean, I am not in that position, nor are most of the people that go to the Gleans that I'm talking about. But a lot of that food, some food does go to food banks as well. But the food banks have their own way of doing things. I don't know how all that works. Some of these people that do this, they do work for the food banks, and this is the stuff that that it's like, get it now. They can't get a lot of this stuff and then store it any longer. It's like, come and get it now and eat it now, and it's still good. That's that.
Okay.
How we doing there?
I'm gonna try to get this on. This is the
Woodruff
fun
key.
part.
The Woodruff key.
That's right.
The Woodruff key. The Woodruff key. Now look at my little valve cover here. Looking pretty nice.
It is. No.
It's not as clean as it could be. It's getting there. This is I'm just keeping busy here.
This is the worst part. Trying to get this on inside the cover now. When I put it on earlier.
Need another brush. Need another little brush to get cleany in here.
One rough key right there. Okay. Get in there. My hands are too big for some of this stuff, I think.
Maybe this little one here. One more little brush, eh? It's not gonna fit in there. No accents! No accents! Yeah, I know. Sorry, I just go there. It's fun. Accents are fun. We have a new valve cover gasket. I know we ordered one.
We did indeed.
Although this one does seem intact. But what did it cost? Like $8?
Yes.
$18.
Why not put it in?
Yeah. When doing work like this, don't scrimp. This is one of the things I am probably guilty of in some ways, is being like, I look at the old valve cover gasket. It's good. Spend the $6, $10, $20. If you're gonna go to the effort of having a friend do a bunch of work on your car for you,
Don't make them do it twice.
do it right. Do it right the first time. But these are hard lessons to learn. It's so much easier to just be like, the old one looks good. And then guess what? When you put it all back together, well, probably some more oil than would have otherwise leaked out is going to leak out through your valve cover gasket. The car is not going to sound, run, or smell as good as it otherwise could.
Well, it's really bad. Like on my BMW, my X3, M52, it is a known oil leaker, and when the valve cover does get loose, it leaks oil around the valve cover, in addition to causing a vacuum leak, which then causes missing and other issues. So
one thing leads to another.
Really important on that.
Yeah. Would you like a towel, sir?
Nah, I'm just a little sweaty today. which is weird since it was freezing cold in here earlier.
But it's much more temperate now than earlier. It was cold in here. It was pretty cold, but we all suffered through it together. And I think having all that body heat in here really helped as well. Any new people in here?
I'll be honest though, it felt like
Leslie, I don't know if I saw your comment about the wood drift key. Say it again, please. Say it again. Build me a race car, guys. We go racing. He'll bring go. You bring a race car here. We can talk. Yeah, I'm looking at chat now. Leslie's like, hey, we just stepped away to get some popcorn. You might have to say it again. I don't know wood drift key, but it's the wood drift key. Something fighting over there?
I'm trying to get the woodruff key in the crank so that I can slide the crank pulley on, but it's a little bit of a challenge since it's inside the cover, you know what I mean? Now it's before when I was trying to do it, there was no cover on it, so I had plenty of room. Now there's covers, much less room.
There's a little sticker on the oil filler cap. It says assembled in Mexico. Now, does that mean just the oil filler cap was assembled in Mexico, or is that saying that this entire car? And maybe somebody, if you wanted something cool to look up, were Honda Civics assembled in Mexico in 1978? Because just my personal understanding of imports, exports, and Japanese domestic market cars and so on and so forth is that I would have expected this car to be built in Japan with all the rest of the Hondas. But interesting little sticker here right on the oil filler cap, and it's kind of a weird place. You see that? So just one little sticker in there that says assembled in Mexico.
It is odd. Okay.
It's here.
Can you stay there and not fall out, please?
Please do what Nas says. Car thing. That's just because I was looking at the sticker and I was like, I might just tear that sticker off. What does it say? Well, it says assembled in Mexico, which I think's interesting.
There we go.
Talk to it a little bit, and then it cooperated. This is the technique, a tried and true technique in my house. However, usually when I say things that parts may or may not actually have heard what I say, so then I have to yell real loud, and it doesn't seem to matter. Another one of those uses of energy that I try to train myself to not use, because honestly, I do know deep inside that by yelling at it, but there is something soothing about it, right, Naz? It's a release, is it?
It is. It's a release. It's a.
Are you
You have a little bit of grease.
I do. Would you like the purple kind?
I just need a little bit to dab in here to maybe hold the woodruff key while I slide the pulley on, so it doesn't keep jumping out on me.
Mm-hmm.
Using it as a non-sticky adhesive. Does that make sense?
Thanks. There it is right there.
All right, perfect. Yep.
Multi-graph fleece.
That's
Red goop there. It's kind of prettier.
Yep, that's what I wanted. That's bearing packing grease right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just fill up the palm of your hand and go to town.
It really works good in holding your hair in place too.
Yeah.
If you have hair.
If you have hair.
Of course don't, so not actually speaking of the truths.
Look, now there's tissue here. And less greasy. Put this on again.
Now, this is a new technique that you are now attempting.
Well,
use some grease to hold it.
not a new technique, just here to. It just every time I get down here, it kept walking. So if it stays in there, I might be able to get it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. A little help. A little help from our friends. So pleased with the valve cover cleanup, pretty much. As I was saying quite a while ago that I all these parts were sitting here, and I could have been spending many more times getting them cleaned up and polished up before actually doing this right now. But last week I felt like I needed. Well, I knew I needed to get to the ocean. I needed to have that time to do the thing that I do out there at the ocean, which is just relax. And to me, relaxing means, using a chainsaw and having a fire and clearing
You're killing yourself.
my property. Yeah, we won't even talk about that. But that's I enjoy that time out there. And last week I was like, just as soon as the show's done, I'm gonna go visit my counselor, and then I'm going to go. Then I'm just going to go, and I did, and I'm glad I did. But it did mean that I had to sacrifice the potential cleanliness of these parts beforehand. But I'm pleased with the way these are coming out. It looks so nice now that quit doing that.
It's quit doing that, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not cooperating. Would an extra hand be helpful? How about if I point and laugh?
That might be the most at this point.
He keeps trying to put it on and it keeps falling off.
I was wrong. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But it would. Is there a hand that I could put somewhere on that would hold it?
It's trying to get this tiny little key.
Stay in there while you're sliding it over
something over the top of it, and it doesn't lock in there; it just sits in there. So.
What if you were down there sliding it on, and I had my hand down from the top on the point where the key is? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. Let me try to get the key in here and try this real quick. Let's take the keys in now. If I can get the key up there.
So if we're lucky. And if we are lucky, we might actually be able. In theory, we should be starting up the Honda at the end of this show, and listening to it go vroom vroom, which would be really nice. Which means then I'm going to change the oil, and that might be a fairly quick show, but the oil needs to be changed on this before it is driven anywhere, and then we call Donnie Pasco, and we bring him to do the welding work that was going to get done in the first place. And then other work that this car needs, I have a carb rebuild kit. It probably needs to have a carburetor rebuilt. And I have a fuel filter that needs to go in there. That'll be really hard. Nas, when it comes to the fuel filter,
yeah,
I'll do that.
Okay.
Where's?
I was just looking for it because it's got to be real easy to get to.
It's under this rag.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Or it might not even have
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it might not even have one.
It was something that Brian Cottrell said, "Hey, I've got fuel filters for that thing. Would you like one?" And yeah, well, we could look it up in the book. This book, I bet you this book will tell you. where to find a new fuel line that is danger. Yeah, so it does need a few things. It would be nice to take this to a whole new level and replace these other things that are about ready to fail, like this hose that is so frayed that I don't even like looking at it.
What's happening there, right?
Yeah.
You see valves moving?
I do not see valves moving.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. On the inner side. Looking at the other.
All right, let me get that tightened up.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. No, stop sing on the thing.
That's impressive.
Here's a fairly clean rag. If you
Yeah,
want
I'm
to,
just trying to figure out. I gotta pull the thing off the thing.
Yeah. When you get the thing on the thing, that is definitely cause for celebration.
No, it's not. I had to pull the thing off the thing because I forgot to put this thing on the thing.
Well, now, the fact that you have done it once means that it is possible.
Yes, it does.
Did you apply a different technique, or did it just actually
No, I just finally got it.
comply a little bit more that time?
Yep.
Yeah. But the thing on the thing! And then we get to redo it. Next time, it'll be that much easier. I just know it will. I know it will. Haley goes from, it's called a thingamajig. Sorry, I use very common terms here. Woodruff keys are a pain.
First, I have to pull this head to go on before the bottom cover.
This is what my uncle refers to as rework. Look at all the fuel filter under the hood or in line just after the tank underneath. That's good. That would be a good question.
That's where I was thinking maybe.
That is the likely thing. Well, you know what? Let's find the answer and I'm not going to use the Google. I'm going to use the book. Yeah, it's actual paper with words in it. Fuel filter. I have owned so many of these different manuals over time, and they are so helpful for some things. There's some things that a handy guy can do, and there's some things that the manual is just words. Fuel filters, about, replace, 65, 67. Okay, let's do some fine reading here.
There, that's on. Now I can put this back on. Yeah. All it is, it's just a steel ring that goes in there.
Yeah.
So it stays inside of here, and it goes against the back of this. And it's basically just so that there's no gasket there or anything. It's just to keep anything from, just holes to keep anything from coming out.
There we go.
It's just a big washer.
So look, there's cool pictures. The artwork in this book is really cool. If you buy your Chilton's or Haynes manuals, they're all photos, right? They some shop class they tore a car down entirely and took photos of all of it, and then they wrote a book about it. This one, it's all artwork, which is, I think, really cool. So fuel filters. The fuel filter strains dirt, rust, and other crud out of your gas, so they don't get to the carburetor. A dirty carburetor might have to be replaced, and that costs serious money. You should give your car a new fuel filter at least every 15,000 miles, and if the gas you've been getting is funky, then change filter more often. Whenever gas gets scarce, gas stations may sell anything they've got, even the real funky stuff at the bottom of their tanks. Yeah, when the pump goes real slow, when you're pumping gas, stop pumping and go to the next pump. Seriously, you don't want that gas. Because gas stations these days, they'll sell you whatever they got. If the gasoline isn't really good, blah, 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 blah. So fuel filter replacement. I love so there's kind of a summary here for somebody who has a lack of understanding. It's like, well, what is a fuel filter? And why do I want to change it? I don't know.
The accents again, huh?
Well, that one's kind of that's actually going into another one of my personalities that you may not have experienced quite as much. That's called Country John Awana. You have to go way back into the stream history to see Country John Awana, because there was actually a few shows where he did make an appearance. But one fella we know uses a formula to figure out how to change it. Take the distance, 15,000 miles, and divide it by the number of cars in line, including yours when you get gas. Number in miles is how far you can go before you should change your filter. Now, That sounds like an algebra problem to me, which means I'm out. Anyways, fuel filter replacement. Step 1, find the fuel filter on your car. Okay. Some Honda fuel filters are well hidden. And don't let anyone smoke anywhere nearby when you do this procedure. Excellent safety tip. You can tell this book was written in the 70s. In Honda Civic 1200s, the fuel filter is under the hood, right in front of where the driver sits. I assume not in the car compartment.
No.
If yours is a 75 to 79 1200, you might want to swing the smog valve assembly out of the way for better access. Huh. There's pictures too.
Is it under the water pump? Under the water pump?
It's well.
You're gonna do that, so I don't have to worry about it. So I don't even know why I'm looking.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's totally not where he's showing it.
Showing it to be. See, that's again. That's another thing I came up on. So you said 70 what?
If yours is a 75 to 79.
No, this should be a 75 at least.
By that other picture's definition,
Maybe.
yeah. Anyways, that's a whole other story. That's another episode here of the Jonawana Garage working on the Honda. I do believe I have now memorized the timing belt pages now. Have I?
Yeah.
No, not really. No, I really didn't actually. That's a lie. Timing belt 150. It's not the 130 one. Okay, there. Looks good. There we go. Okay. So we've got this. There go. There's that. There's these.
I'm just looking to see if there's anything. We'll need this.
So it went on. I did not hear much yelling. It went on much easier this time.
Yes. It did.
Nicely. I am wanting the engine motor mount to arrive immediately.
Pull the cover off once again.
No.
Yeah, good thing I didn't get the bolt tight.
You know what I don't
You
like?
know why the cover has to come off again?
No.
Because the motor mount goes behind the cover. That's why we should have been reading Pro.
And, well, we are not getting a new motor mount.
It's not going to make it now.
Now it's going to be... You know what's screwed up is when you pay for shipping for an item, it says if you pay this amount for shipping, you get it by a certain date. And then it doesn't come by that date. But you still paid. And now the motor mount's going to come tomorrow. Package delayed. AutoZone fail. AutoZone fail. That's a total fail. How do you? Anyways. Yeah. So the new motor mount. If you're going to set an expectation.
And here's the problem. It's not. I mean, it's pulling off the crank pulley to replace the motor mount.
Yeah. So now I spent $15, which is not a lot, to have something that's basically going to be sitting in a box.
But you're going to send that with the car.
Yeah.
And say, here, we bought this when we did the timing belt.
But it didn't need it.
But it didn't need it, but we bought it anyways because we were there. And if you need it, here it is. That's the way we're going to handle that, right?
And AutoZone will be getting a kind phone call from me, reminding me of setting an expectation with a car part delivery that is not met, because people have friends over to work on cars, and critical parts go in certain at times, and oh wait, maybe you even have a streaming show all about putting the car parts in, and you get to talk about how great or not great the product delivery process was.
Or maybe even worse, large shop who's just got someone waiting to come get their car and can't get it now because
the
part didn't arrive when it was supposed to.
If you can't, who knows what happened? I don't know if they didn't meet the expectation. If they couldn't have gotten it done, and it is really amazing to me. Or I ordered that yesterday, and on Monday, and for delivery today, and they said they could do it, so I ordered it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ordered it. Certainly, I should have ordered it earlier, but
the guy who was working on your car forgot to tell you to order it, and as soon as he found it, he went and found one that would get here on time and told you to order it.
So both of us wasted our time and now my money for something that is now this. But this is kind of the world in which we live in, right?
Yep.
It's a world of instant gratification and high expectations set, and because previously.
But also, it wasn't something you could go pick up in the store. So I mean, we didn't have much choice but to order direct from them online.
Yeah. AutoZone failed though. AutoZone, I'm not a fan anyways.
Hey! No. Again, it was. I would have went to O'Reilly, but they didn't have it at all. Because I have warehouses by my house. Like Yellow River Valley is where O'Reilly's main warehouse is in the Seattle area, or one of them at least. Okay. One of the bigger ones is right off of River Road. So if I order something and it's not at the River Road on my road near
it's coming from
Canyon
California or something.
If it's not there, I can go to the depot and pick it up usually. So if it had been there, that's where I would have gone, and I would have just grabbed it on my way up.
Northwest Buddy in the chat. She said ambulance. Yeah. It sucks though, because it would have been nice. I mean, that motor mount does not appear to be, bad. But it is 100,000.
And again, the fact that I can pick up the engine by hand means it's probably not supporting a whole lot. And we're not going to have a lot of problems with it. But if we're here,
you know what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to return it.
Oh yeah.
Because then I will get my money back, and it will cost them money, and that is how you teach a company a lesson.
They can't charge you. They shouldn't charge you restocking since they didn't meet their. Yeah. Although what the way businesses spin it is, that was an estimated time of delivery.
Is that
you know that's what they're gonna say.
Estimated delivery.
Yeah, see?
That's what it says here. It didn't say that when I put it in my cart and I paid $6.99 for shipping.
Nope, it said it'll be
It said
Saturday.
Arrives by Wednesday for $6.99.
Yep.
That's what it said.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden it's an estimate. Well, I estimate that I'll be returning it for full price back, and it will cost you shipping again on your dime. Yeah, and a transaction, and see, that's how you do it. Is because then they learn. Then they put more effort. Because I don't know if it's AutoZone's fault. It might not be AutoZone's fault. It might be FedEx's fault, right? And FedEx would be highly likely to be their fault these days for some things. But yeah, I'm a little miffed. I'm miffed about that. Now Rock Auto, on the other hand, they said that the parts were going to be here by Wednesday. I had one box of almost everything delivered on Sunday, and one box of the other one thing delivered on Monday. So they under-promised and over-delivered.
Yeah, they have multiple depots. So.
And that's the way. That is the way. If you're going to run a business, you'd be like, yeah, I can get it by Friday, but you say, yeah, I can't get it to you until Monday, and you get it to them on Friday, and people be like, woo, Rock Auto!
You mean the Scotty principle?
It's Amazon.
It's the Scotty principle. Star Trek.
Oh, yes. Captain, I won't be able to get that done until next week. Oh, we need her done right now. Okay, Captain, I'll have it in 2 hours. Or whatever, something like that, right?
Seattle guy, no less.
Yeah.
James Doohan, right?
Doohan, yep. Yeah. And I've been watching Next Generation. I'm on season 7 now.
I'm catching up on Voyager right now.
I'll give it a try, but
Weren't a big fan of Mulgrew?
Deep Space Nine I can kind of get into, but I'm not really into it. And excuse you. and Voyager cooler than Deep Space for me, but I don't think I didn't look forward to every week of that coming out.
What about Enterprise?
Never watched it.
Never watched it?
No.
See, I'm a big fan of. The reason I watch Enterprise more than anything is because I'm a fan of Scott Bakula back from Quantum Leap.
See, part of me, I'm just nostalgic. So Star Trek was something that was very nostalgic for me, and Star Trek Next Generation, nostalgic in a different way.
Yeah.
And then Deep Space Nine kind of spun off a little bit too much, and it didn't. There's only one character in there from Next Generation, so it was further out here, and I hate the Cardassians.
And then Voyager feeds off of Deep Space Nine, so that
it's
puts you a little
step
step
further
away.
removed.
Yeah.
So I haven't fallen down the hole that far.
You have not seen my hole.
You're right about that.
I got a lot of deep TV holes. All I'm saying.
Yeah. Those.
Hey, don't screw with
Now
me.
here, Leslie Walsh, DF9 is brilliant. Enterprise is really good. When you get into it, it's really good. You need to watch Deep Space Nine. Okay. Several people have made me. I've watched a lot of it when it first came out. Absolutely. Phone them up live on air. Tell them the guy's over here to see the job from Scotland in front of your. Yeah. I'd rather just use a chat bot. But sometimes when Amazon screws up my package deliveries, I'm really sensitive about that, because sometimes the drivers will just put the package by the gate, which essentially means putting it out in the street, and it's like 20 more steps to put it on the porch, as the instructions say. And so every time they don't, I call them. I will call and talk to a person from the Philippines, and I will kind of go on and on end about how annoying it is and the hassle of it and why they shouldn't, and make a big deal of it without being a jerk. It's pretty funny. It's probably one of their favorite phone calls they get that day. But I will take a lot of their time, and then they'll say, now we need to transfer you to the logistics people. I'll be like, okay, I'll wait. And then I'll talk to the logistics people, and I'll be all, the instructions are there. Why can't the driver just do that?
So, up by my front gate, I have a rolling gate at the front of my yard.
Mm-hmm.
Up by my front gate, I have a trash bin that you can reach over the fence and just open up and drop packages in, because that's, rural setting, that's the best way if you don't want them sitting out, because people will drive through and steal. We know that. Literally on 4 people in that house order from Amazon on a regular basis, because 3 of them work there.
Yeah.
And our instructions say leave in bin by fence. And I've had them thrown in the yard. I've had them by the front gate. I've had them. But
clearly not reading the instructions.
Those instructions are on our account, and I know that because one of the CSRs, one of the Jeff CSRs, put it on there, so I know it's on there.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I will compliment them every time they do it right. When you get the little message from Amazon that says, was it great or was it not great? I will always
John, come turn the tire again.
tell them that it's great when it's great. And I will always tell them with vigor when it's not right.
The left. That's good.
That's all she's got, Captain.
Do the fun part, try to get the sensitive hole.
So I have actually written a story about this car, but more about a trip that I took down to Washougal, Washington a couple weeks ago to meet with Brian Cottrell of B&B Automotive. Very eclectic shop. I think Brian is he's somewhere on the spectrum, if you know what I mean. He's super smart, super handy. They've been fixing Hondas and cars for years and years and years. He really likes to tell stories about, what's been going on his property there, with cars, with Hondas, all the there. So he's a really interesting person. And I really enjoyed the time that I spent down there at the shop when I went down to go get the door latch for the door before the timing belt actually broke. Because that was kind of what it needs, this door latch. And I don't know, I'm actually thinking I don't know if I want to mess with it. I think I might drive down there to visit Brian again and just pay him to install the door latch, because I like him and I would like to do business with them. And it's one of these, if you know how the tools you do take off trim, these little bent screwdrivers and things like that.
I have all those.
He has all those. Maybe you'd rather do it, but it's a fiddly process.
Yeah,
it is a very fiddly process. It's a little. You're talking about like inside the door there. There's a little clip.
So when I bought my Maxima, I drove it for a while, and then a buddy of mine took his supercharged Maxima and hit a telephone pole, made a docking port out of it. He was trying to pass some guy, and the guy cut him off, and he jerked off this way and middled the car. So we stripped the car. So the doors, fenders, trunk, and hood, maybe not the hood, but the doors, trunk, and fenders all went on my car. And I've changed all the door handles on my car. The entire interior went from tan to black in the Maxima. Interior doesn't bother me, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Not a thing.
Well, I will give you first shot at it if you want.
Yeah, I can do it.
It's definitely not a greasy job. There's it's not a greasy mess.
No,
but it's when he. So part of the story.
The big thing is making sure that if he has any of the extra clips, if there are any, that you can grab an extra clip or two, because you're dealing with clips that are 30 years old. Those plastic, if they're plastic, they might be metal. They might be, because they make plastic ones and metal.
I think it's both. So what we have is we have all the ones from the one we took out of the really rusty old Honda, and all the ones.
Okay, so that's all I need. All I need is backup. All I need is backup, because in a car like this, they should be metal. There, I mean, I know what you're talking about. They just go over the thing and they lock down on it to lock the pin into the door handle. Mm-hmm. It's a little. You pivot it off and it'll pop out. You push it in. You pivot it back down and lock it in. Yeah. It's exactly what you're talking about, right?
I think so.
Pretty close.
So yeah.
So yeah, I've done that before.
Okay. Yeah.
I own a '95 Chevy Suburban. I've replaced every door handle in those because those are famous for breaking.
So this isn't the door handle. This is the latch.
Right.
The latch catch.
Yep.
But when I went down there, Brian said, "Hey, and you'll bring tools. You pull it off yourself." And so I brought some tools down there. But then he didn't make me take it off. He did it for me, which was, as I watched him do it, I was like, oh man.
He did that.
He did it in like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And you could tell he had done it several times before, because he didn't have an idiot's guide here, but he knew exactly the order to take the thing off in, and had all these little prying things for doing that. And and I was like, man, if I would have done that, I think I probably would have taken me an hour before I gave up, and I would have gotten about half of it out and probably broke part of it. And that's okay. It's okay. I've learned there's some things I'm fairly good at with car stuff. I can do some car stuff, but I'm not good at it. I'm good at talking.
Ain't that the truth?
This goes back. My Aunt Jeannie. Aunt Jeannie, are you watching? Aunt Jeannie, when I was like 3 years old, she nicknamed me Jabber, because my nickname was JB, John Bernard Schomer, after my grandfather, and my father was John Edward, after his grandfather. And so JB, Jabber, and the fact that basically once they got me going, and you might be familiar with this if you watch
You
some
don't
of the
stop.
shows I've done. Once you get me going, blah 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 blah. I can go and I can go and go and go and go and go and go, and I don't do drugs. Okay.
John, I want to train. Welcome aboard. Next stop, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. You don't know if you're getting off at all. You might just be trapped and be just going for a ride. Doot doot. You know, seriously. But hopefully we stay on the rails to a certain degree, and we eventually get there.
Do I have a valve cover? Do I have a valve cover?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think the valve. Oh, you just want to fit it in there?
No, I need the gasket.
Oh no! That would be right in the hole.
It did go right in the hole.
Here's a magnet thing.
I see it at least.
And then this here is the valve cover non-returnable gasket. If inside shrimp, if not returnable, if inside shrink wrapping is broken.
That's there. Where's the other one?
That one may have gone. Bit, the middle bit.
Yep. I can't get
Why won't that magnet work on that piece of rubber?
right.
Like a hook.
Yeah, something. Yeah, launch. As long as I can get back to where I can get it, I'm fine.
Or a long needle.
No, I just want to cry. Just give me a minute here.
Okay.
So I just bumped this again when I was moving the flashlight. Because no one was here holding my flashlight.
Is that my fault?
No,
Is there an indication that I made an error?
no, I'm just there. It is right there. There's that. I still need to find the
To
rubber.
be
There's the
honest,
rubber
I
right
knocked
there.
those off of this like 10 times while I was
Okay, so it's not just
cleaning. No, they come out incredibly easily, and honestly, they should have been taken out. Amazon for me is usually pretty good. At the door every time, or in the box behind the gate at the drive. If not, only I've had issues with messing them up.
You said you do have a hook?
I have some things. A long needle nose. Not
Yeah, that might work. Give it a shot. At least they'll give me the rubber. I still gotta get the steel, and I don't know where that's at. I'll find it when I get there.
this one. Then I have that dental tool. Not very long though. So I have a lot of tools because I have done a lot of car work, but it's usually pretty basic stuff. Honestly, I would have taken this off.
Put that over there for a
Would
minute.
have taken
Just the whole thing. Just for a minute till I'm back at that point now.
Yep.
I'm trying to find a metal piece that goes here, and I make sure I didn't drop it.
See where- My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the metal thing.
Okay, you give me the valve cover first.
No other small parts.
Nope, just the valve cover and the gasket.
This is the gas, right?
Yes, sir. Again, it doesn't look terrible, but we're there, and it was like you said, $6. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, return now.
That's all right. I like it. I like having a new one. Since this car is going to go for sale, it's really, it's nice to be able to advertise new this, new that, and then when you're talking to somebody and they're like, oh, you worked on it yourself? You can be like, yeah, but we replaced all, and actually I will say, no, I didn't touch it. We worked on it, and which means it got done right. And we replaced all the stuff. We didn't cut any corners. Right? Right!
Sir.
So is there anybody new to the channel in chat? If you are, I'd love to welcome you. Tell me what you think. I wonder what you think of a show like this. Is this something you would want to watch? Because I know some of the regular folks here know me quite a bit, and we get along nice. So it's great to have you guys here. But I'm also interested to see what new folks might say about a show like this. Why would you watch this? Is this interesting? Are you learning something? Is it Naz's beard? Is it my beard? Is it because you like this little red car? I mean, because this is a cute red car. The next car is likely not going to be red. But there will be other cars to do work on. Hey, you know what? When we do the square back motor, I'm going to lead the charge on the mechanicking, and you can
I can talk to people.
and you can talk to people with hand tools. Huh?
That works.
How about that? Huh?
That works.
Yeah. Have you ever pulled a motor on a VW?
No, but I've pulled motor on plenty of other things, so I know it can't be that tough.
Okay, well, pulling motor in a VW
It's even easier.
is different than any other type
It
of
is.
car. So that will be kind of fun, and it'll be good to have you here. I bought a special new jack that raises up real high because we're going to be lifting that car way up high to slide the motor out. It's going to be cool. It's going to be very cool. And we have a new. Did you want some grease to help hold that in place?
No.
No. Because it is kind of coming out of its spot.
I know it is at the ends, but
Okay.
I'm aware of it. See, I dropped in there. It's in the slot. I made sure.
It's very nice.
Gotta have a little trust in me.
Oh, I do.
Why don't you hand me 2 pieces of rubber first?
Or you want one side?
Yeah, we can do that. That'll work. One side.
There
You hold
is
on
a
to the nut.
rubber
You hold
band.
on to the acorn until I got this on. And there we go.
My little fingers are helpful for things like this.
And the other one.
This is the part where we
Are working on it.
Yeah. It's through the whole way. Approximately.
That's probably about 20 pounds, give or take. That's right.
It's really coming back together nicely. With the valve cover on there, it really looks like it's actually together.
Start on belts.
So, but wait, motor mount?
Yes, we'll get motor mount on, but not until after the belts are on. The motor mount, the belts go around. You have to take out the motor mount to put the belts, or not. We don't have to pull the motor mount. We don't have to pull the cover to put the motor mount on because the bracket sticks out through the cover. So we can replace the motor mount.
Without significant reason.
Yep. I just. Okay. My brain's in the right place now, and I realize yes. Because see, there's a little pad that sticks out here. your little pad.
Uh-huh.
That's where your motor mount goes to.
So it's actually
It's an external.
super accessible.
Yep.
Okay.
That old gasket. That one's already on.
One used valve. That's actually in really good shape.
It is. Again, they're not bad, but
It's rubber. It's not a
you don't
cork
know
one.
until you know.
Yep.
And better to order and have it than need it not.
And it's been pinched in there for 40 some years, so a new one will likely have a little bit less compaction.
I need belts. The long belt first.
Okay. Is that you took them out?
That should be the alternator belt.
You what?
They're right there on top of the toolbox. On top of the toolbox, behind you. The socket set. Sorry. Box of tools. Which one should be, yes, one should be quite a bit longer. It's this one.
They're different.
They are different. This one goes over water pump, crankshaft, and the alternator.
Snow says microphones for each of us would be nice. We can't hear everything when you're talking over the engine and not toward the mic. Okay.
That's fair.
Okay. All right. Let's do also your dad's watching too. That's cool. Yeah. I think I'll probably end up getting, once I have my soundboard, which is coming sometime in March now. Yeah. They've changed the delivery date on it twice.
Let me see that thin belt. And we still have the old belts.
Yes, we do.
Let me see those, because this is being a little weird, and we know we ordered based on, wow, that's inside out. Interesting. That's that one. That's a short one.
But yeah, likely I will likely do a set of lab mics once I have the other soundboard in here. So just kind of a matter of ordered the right soundboard from Amazon, and it's supposed to be like a week out, and then they said, oh, actually, sorry, it won't be until February 23rd that you get it. Well, that's today. And a couple days ago, I got a thing from them saying, actually, the delivery date's now been changed to March 3rd or whatever it is. So yeah, that's it happens. It happens. And with that particular piece, I'm fine with the that coming later, because it's fine for this show's quality to improve over time. However, the motor mount, that I'm actually bitter about, because that would have been nice. It would have been nice to have this car just buttoned up and done. But there's more work to do. So I would say that we're probably looking at 2 more shows for the Honda to be where there's nothing else we need to do. Carb rebuild, a few more hoses and things, the fuel filter, if we find where the fuel filter goes, the door latch catch, the other little, what are these other little thingies that I have from Brian? Let's move back here. This is the carb rebuild kit.
That's weird.
And then there will definitely be once the car comes back from Danny, who will do the metal work on it, and then there will be a painting show, which is going to be probably pretty short but fairly exciting, because the metal is going to be all perfect, and then let's tape off some bits and it'll be because I have a $70 bomb can of this exact paint mixed in for the touch-ups. For the little bit of metal work, there's a little bit of welding that's going to be done right back here for this one little rusty spot, and then there's one little spot on the back of the car there. There's one tiny pinhole right here.
Alternator top bolt and the alternator's on. Just bolt.
Nice.
Almost got the alternator
Carb rebuild. How that's probably an hour.
Yeah,
So
I can bring my. I have a kit of. I have a 5-gallon bucket of cleaner too, because I got to redo mine at some point.
I have a gallon of
Carb cleaner.
That
might be what I have too. I might have a gallon can, but I bought it because I need to redo
has a
mine.
little bucket in it.
Yep, that's what I have too.
It's been used a couple times, but it's
Okay, that's there.
yeah. How about Nas here? Look at him. He's the real deal. Now let me ask you this, Nas. Do you enjoy doing this? Specifically here, doing it on the stream, this is kind of fun.
Yep.
But there are guys that I've met through the course of doing many Wheel and Pedal Wednesday shows, where that's what they love. They will buy a car that's totally broken, and they fix it, and when it's fixed, they sell it, and then they find another one that's broken. Not because they want to make, I don't know, a couple $1,000 or whatever, but because they like the fixing. Are you one of those?
I would work on a car every day if I had a facility.
Okay.
That's where I'm at right now. I can't stand working outside. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But give me an inside and tools, and I'll be there all day if I can. Obviously, I mean I don't complain about working here, and I haven't.
No.
You've heard, so I mean it's
it's a difference of that you can't that you're good at it, and that you can, and that this is like a fun opportunity for us to work together and to do these shows and stuff, versus like that you actually enjoy the process.
I do enjoy the process.
Except when you drop stuff, because that's annoying.
Yeah, it was.
Stupid socket jumped right out of his hand. Did you see that? He was just about to put it on the part, and it just said, "What is this, Looney Tunes?"
Okay, get in there.
And you also tell this tool thing that he's got, this red thing, that thing makes a cool noise, doesn't it? Kind of sounds like a fart every once in a while too.
It does once in a while. Nice.
But that red thing, it's cool. It's doing a lot of the work, and I've never had one of those red things. I've always had the regular metal things that they go clickety 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 click, and you never have enough room to move your hand.
I would have air, and I would have a lot more room if I had air, obviously. But since I don't have air right now, this does the same thing.
What we do, I have air tools and a compressor.
Yeah, air ratchets are obviously. I mean, I spent 6 years I spent 6 years doing towing, working for a towing company. We did auto repair in there. We built our own trucks. I've built a semi-wrecker before in a shop. So I mean,
and lots of this.
The more. Right. Well, why sit there for 20 minutes doing this when I can spend 5 minutes and go bzzz, and it's done.
Yeah, especially when you might only have this much space and it means going chickadee, 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 and banging your hand every third time.
Also, you get really, you get ratchets with a high tooth count. You get a 72 tooth ratchet. If you move that a little bit, it moves that distance. It's not trying to catch teeth every time you move it one. You're going to actually get more movement out of it. The more teeth there are in a ratchet, the more movement you're going to be able to get out of it in a tight place.
Okay. But that electric red thing.
Cool. Yes, sir.
I like that one.
Electric ratchets are nice.
Back in my day, we didn't used to have those.
No, yeah, you did. No, not way back then. Remember, I'm back further than your day. So.
Did they have them back then? No, it'd be air. You would have had an air.
Yeah.
Most everybody, before batteries got to be the way batteries are nowadays, you had to air one of those. But now batteries are such pretty awesome things.
Yes, they are.
You don't have to mess with the compressor, and you couldn't have the sound quality that we have on a show like this because every once in a while the compressor would be going, let me conjunct,
Although,
something like that.
Now that I've seen your setup, I would have the compressor in the shutout back.
Oh. Yeah, well, a larger compressor. I just had that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If you ever moved a larger compressor, I'd definitely have that in the shutout back because then you can sit there and work, and you'll hardly even hear it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's out of the elements.
Mostly. That there's water issues.
Oh, are there?
Water issues back there. But it not.
But you could
not
work
coming
on
from the
those.
ceiling. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I'm just braining for a second.
Yep. Yep. You need a drink?
No, it's
Here's to Nas.
this belt.
Mm-hmm. Did any of you watch the show with Steve Huff today? I just thought that was
Pretty darn incredible.
I felt like I was working with Bill Nye the Science Guy. In fact, I was working
But
with
he's the
somebody.
one working with Bill Nye the Science Guy.
He's,
not you.
he's working with Bill Nye the Science Guy. But seriously, it was just like my brain was exposed to so much information that I almost exploded. Seriously.
You know, he's a smart guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was this close to exploding. And then I sat in the dragster and I was like,
You were
Okay.
like a little kid,
okay,
weren't you?
okay, it's okay to learn stuff if you get to sit in a dragster, because all that pain and suffering and general misery with having to think about all the math and physics and stuff that he was talking about, which I actually kind of liked, but I won't admit in public. It all went away when he showed me how to climb into the driver's seat of that dragster, and I was like, and I didn't want to get out. You guys probably see me when I've gotten in some other cool cars, or when people fire it up and I'm standing back there by the exhaust. There's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of moronic, but it's just a sense of pure pleasure. Simple, pure pleasure, where I'm just like,
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even get your usual, when someone starts a car that's loud,
yeah,
you get this look on your face.
yeah.
You enjoyed his car, but that look didn't happen because there was no hard start.
I felt like I had the look when I was sitting.
Think so?
And I think it was a different vibe.
Right.
But it was, and I thought when I was talking to Steve on the phone when we first had our first chat, and he said, and I'm looking for somebody to take this over when I'm gone. And
that's hard.
And
that's a hard thing to hear.
Yeah, that's a definitely hard thing to hear. But part of my brain went there, and I was like, wow, would I want to do that? And I think if it was circuit racing or desert racing or any sort of other track oriented racing, that my mind would have been like, I'd pretty much do whatever I could to have that opportunity. But honestly, I do not have interest in driving that car in a straight line down a quarter mile.
If I didn't have a wife and kids, I'd go fast.
I would drag race, but there's something of the length of the dragster, the whole level of speed. I know that's not the fact that you are with drag racing. You are taking your life into your hands every single run. If anything goes wrong, highly likelihood that you're going to be maimed or killed.
On the plus side, dragsters have a lot of pretty heavy. I mean, his halo cage and everything is solid. Where you're gonna run, the bike is scary.
Oh yeah.
The bike is scary. You got a helmet and leathers. That's your entire at 150 miles an hour.
200.
That'll be fun.
208.
Yeah. With leathers and
on the sand.
Yeah.
Or the salt.
Well, and see, that's the thing. When you guys were talking, you said it's like the beach. It's even worse than the beach because it's almost like dust.
Oh yeah.
That's why the coefficient is so low. Sand has a coefficient because it's got some grit to it.
And imagine,
but that dust, you get out on those lake beds, and it's just fine dust.
Imagine if you crashed and you were getting road rash from tumbling over and over and over after falling off the bike, and every time you hit the ground, you're not just getting another scuff, you're grinding sand and salt into the wound. That just sounds horrific. But at the same time, I can't wait to go to Bonneville. I want to go to Bonneville sometime, and I want to do something crazy in a fast car. But I do not want to do... Who's the guy like this on the motorcycle?
Indian Larry?
No.
Oh.
Where is he's in here somewhere? Or he might be in my office. Is it Harley? Oh, what's his name? He's not the Indian guy.
Okay.
He's the American that did it on the Vincent Black Shadow. And there's a picture of him, and the only way to go faster was to strip down to his underwear, and he streamlined himself. This is a motorcycle with no fenders, no rear fender, just a seat thing, and the seat's like this wide, and he's laying prone on the motorcycle like this, with nothing more than his underwear and a pair of shoes on. Because he could get another 1 mile an hour out of it if he took his shirt off. What's his name? Anybody remember? Anyone remember his name? One. It's what?
Snow give you a hard time.
What?
Speak to the viewers, not the engine.
Oh. The engine needs to be talked to as well.
That's right.
Somebody. I'll look it up on my phone. What else am I doing, anyways?
Engine mount?
Yes, sir. I think it's 2 parts here, right?
Yes, sir. Can you yeah, let the engine out.
Let it down.
Yep. This is one of the jobs you do, right?
This is. Yep. Raleigh free. Raleigh free is his name.
Okay.
Let it down all the way or
All the way, just so I can get this.
This is one of my jobs.
Actually, shit. Sorry for the language. I'm just trying to figure out how to get this in there. I'm slipping with the motor by hand. Never mind.
You just need to put your weight into it.
Yep. That's what I'm doing. It's working. Okay, now jack it up. Hang on for a second. Let it down some. Slow. Okay, hold it right there. Yep. Just need to stop for a second. It's rubber.
No. Oh.
What I need you to do is come over up here, I guess. We're gonna try something else. See that strut right there? this, the engine strut. Grab onto that and pull back if you can.
Pull back.
Yep. So get this in there. It's like pretty close there. Give me a second.
Do I need to hold on to this specifically, or do I just need to hold it?
You just need to hold the engine away from me as much as possible. Until I get, whoop, man. Don't go too far. There we go. We're in there. Let me get these 2 bolts in. Oh. Flashlight. Sorry. Me a little bit. Stop. Well, I know this is a pain, but it's... started. Doing crooked, obviously. Backwards. It's not. It's so close. That might do it actually. I'm at right here.
Such a little motor.
It is the fact that I can just rock it around.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's so little, but it's so cute too.
All right, we got
Motor
mount in. Yes, motor mount mounting.
Let's have let's see.
Yep. Oh, sweaty.
Yes, motor mount mounting. So the guy I was referring to on the Vincent Black Shadow world record, his name's Raleigh Free, and the photo that I was trying to emulate.
Yeah, planking.
Yeah.
Planking on the bike.
So yeah, flanking.
I thought Indian Larry did that. That's weird. Or Raleigh is Raleigh Free the one that?
No, Raleigh Free is American.
Right, but was he the one that they did the movie about with? No, that was Indian Larry.
That's Indian Larry. He's
with
Australian.
with yeah, what am I thinking
Or
of?
New Zealandish.
But
New
they did it
Zealand?
with-
New Zealand or Aussie? Some
Um,
crazy down under. But yeah, this when I first heard this story, I have a print of this photo in my office. Because that's crazy.
it's
He's
actually-
going 150 miles an hour
Indian
hanging off the back of the bike.
Indian Larry was Anthony Perkins, right? Or who am I thinking of?
I know who you're thinking of. Yeah, the guy that was in Silence of the
Silence of
Lambs.
the Lambs. That's what I'm thinking of. He did Indian Larry.
He had
played Indian Larry, right?
Yeah, and there was
Yeah.
an Indian, aerocycle.
Yep.
Before that, this is,
Yep.
and one of the reasons that's special to me is two of my good friends that have since passed both used to have Vincent Black Shadows, and they were extremely proud of them. And even back then, those bikes were worth a tremendous amount of money, and now they're worth ridiculous amounts of money. And my mother used to love to go ride with Jack on his Vincent Black Shadow, because she knew how much he loved it, and so therefore she loved it. And knowing Jack and Richard, was just a treasure for me in that time and through all of their years, because they loved motorcycles, and they loved really odd motorcycles that I had never heard of, and they exposed me to things that I didn't know that I had a great love for. And that's why I have a Kawasaki, because Kawasaki's are just completely reliable, but I have a really cool one. And but Jack and Richard, they would find an old Benelli or Moto Guzzi, and guys, WRX, if you're watching, Guys WRX's dad is really into these same really odd old BSA Gold Stars and Moto Guzzis, and what's the other really hassle? I forget. Guys, I wish you were here.
Ducati.
No, there's another brand of these old big singles with magnetos and stuff that. It's like every time you're going to ride it that you're going to be working on it on the side of the road by the time you get home, and it's just part of the
Royal Enfield.
No,
those were a big single cylinder too. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, I was just trying to throwing it out there because you said it. Yes, Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, yeah.
That's a weird
thing. It starts with B. So the BSA Triumph, Bonneville, Norton, Royal Enfield. Velocet. I didn't see it on here. I remembered it before I saw it. Velocet. Those are bikes that were special to my Jack and Richard. Richard passed away just a couple of years ago, and Jack died about 30 years ago. And if you ever heard me talk about the days where I used to buy and sell used Levi's, those were the two guys that started that business that I worked with for years and years and years, doing that crazy business of buying people's old jeans and selling them for hundreds of dollars to other people who wanted to buy old rotten jeans, which weren't rotten at the time, which are these are cool jeans, right? These are cool. These aren't Levi's. These are like Lucky or something, they're designer jeans. Levi's 501s are a piece of American history. And I don't think the market is really like it was anymore, but we would spend thousands of dollars every weekend collecting truckloads of people's old jeans. And you, of course, didn't want them too small or too big, or of course, you didn't want them ratty. You wanted them in nice shape, but well worn. And you could sell them for lots of money. Crazy. To Israel, to Russia, to Eastern Europe. We had markets all around the world we sold them to. It's really cool. One of my jobs was to entertain customers that were in town. Avi, are you out there? Avi from Israel. He used to come into Seattle, and I would take him out to the downtown Seattle back in the grunge era, and I would hang out with him downtown because he didn't know anybody. And we'd go and hang out, and that was one of my jobs.
We'll replace this. I just want to get it there for testing first.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember, but yeah, I did have the. I should turn it off. Just because the battery was dead because I left the key on. Why don't you turn it off?
Yeah, I bet you weren't getting full horsepower out of this anyways. Just because if this vacuum hole is bad, you weren't getting vacuum advance.
It definitely, it drove nicely, but it definitely, you could tell that there was more power to be unlocked, more worth. Because basically, I mean, I got it started from after it had sat for 10 years. And it ran out good right away. It idled right away and started up right away, and That is the coolest
Right.
coil cap. Totally waterproof.
Yep.
And now we have a whole bunch of new hoses that are going on this thing as well. So, because the old hoses were very afraid, and I ended up getting coolant hoses because the vacuum hose, they didn't have vacuum hose in those links, and I was like, well, so long as they conduct air.
I read my numbers.
Oh, they're my numbers.
They're your numbers. Oh, that's why.
I can read them probably if you can't.
That should be 4. It is 4.
Do we have these spark plugs in already?
Oh, yeah.
You snuck those in there without me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're sneaky, aren't you?
Those went in before the Velcro went on, before anything, because I was at a stop for a minute. And...
No, maybe we'll just put them on there then.
This is 1. This is... You look at the numbers. I have to put my glasses back on. I don't want to right now because I'm sweating too hard.
This is 2.
That's 2. Okay. One sitting right there is 3. Right here. It's 3.
She's coming together, fellas. She's coming together.
It's 2. Yes, the battery ground will have to go on. You're correct. It's right here. It's right here. You didn't throw it away. That should be tight enough to do a test.
This is one of those kind of moments of truth kind of things.
Yes, it is.
I'm just trying to turn it over, not necessarily start.
Well, if it starts. I'm not going to be upset if it starts.
Go so far as putting the choke on, because it won't start without the choke.
Yeah, just try it first. Try turning it over first. Battery's dead. I mean, it's 1.25 amps.
What's that?
It's only 1.25 amps.
That's kind of a trickle charger.
Yeah, this is a maintenance charger, not a...
Okay. We can put the big one on there.
All right.
Maybe it might have been good to kind of nurse the battery a little bit before throwing the charge on it. That's what my thinking was.
Okay, I'll go with it. Good idea, John. Glad you thought of that. Yeah. And then we'll just... Oh, let's see.
Taking a charge is good. It's taking a solid 5 amps.
Okay. You should entertain people for a minute because there's not much I can do till the battery's charged. Start trying. Interpretive dance. Yes. Here we go.
There's your cringe moment. Man, we've been all over the charts today, haven't we? It's 1 a.m. there. Leslie Walsh. Man, that's amazing. MXR Duchess, how's it going? MXR Duchess loves your shirt. Anthony Hopkins. Yep, that's who she says. How long till startup attempt? My dad is getting tired. Oh, I know. Isn't that disappointing? Then we did not have the right battery charger on there.
I screwed up again.
See, fun fact from Elizabeth Welsh: the Mazda MX-5 1.6 engine, up until 1992, had a short nose crank, led to Woodruff key failure around 100,000 miles.
Yep.
They changed it in 1992, so the 1.6 engine had the same crankshaft as the 1998, so it didn't have a failure again. I used to know from experience, hence changing my engine on the drive every month. So, hey, good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, and a Woodruff key is very rarely hardened steel because you want if something happens.
You want it to fail, not the rest of the thing.
Right.
Is
so
this supposed to go on this?
I'm pretty sure that is where that originally went, like that. Yes, to keep that hose from rubbing on that.
Mm-hmm. Look and see.
Try to see what else we have for hoses and stuff.
Need a new horn.
Our silver piece will come up through here. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else missing. I don't think there is. Other than the hoses. And the hoses go to the air cleaner, right? Or one goes here. Let's see. Now we gotta remember, right, but they come from the air cleaner first, or?
Most of them, yeah, do attach in some fashion.
That one goes there. I can almost guarantee it. Look at that curve.
Yeah. There's a larger one.
That has to go there, though, right? You would agree?
I would agree.
That's that one. So just need to cut a little bit of this off.
And the other large hose goes on there as well.
Yeah. And we just gotta figure out where it goes to.
Pictures. We could have took pictures.
We could have. It's almost like we have cameras and stuff.
Oh yeah, we could actually. Well, that would be really hard to drill down into that.
Right. But here's the
video.
no, I wouldn't do that. But here's the well, actually,
we'd have to go Blade Runner style and be like, focus on frame number 33 by 34 and large. You know, remember?
No,
that
if I
Wasn't that
still,
cool?
I don't think I kept any clips. I think I got rid of them. But if I had the clips from when we were first trying the GoPro, they all had engine clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that part in the Blade Runner? Back when it was like, that was like 1982, 81, 79. Blade Runner? 1979? Anyone, right?
Oh, I remember.
It's very early, but remember when he had that computer thing where he was focusing in on that picture?
Yeah.
And he ends up finding something in the reflection of the mirror that is in the picture, and it's a reflection of this thing that has a fish scale on it, and he drills down into the fish scale itself to find the serial number, thereby proving that chick was a replicant. That was intense.
Spoilers.
Oh. If you haven't seen Blade Runner, I just ruined one of the greatest parts for you. No, but I mean, even nowadays, that's just an incredibly intense drill down.
It doesn't happen that way, though.
It's not possible.
You can't create pixels where there's no pixels. And pixels don't get smaller as you go deeper. They're the same size, so you're just going to get a bigger
But
pixel.
it was cool, though.
It was.
That was cool. That
It
was just a cool moment of like, wow, where technology could possibly take you. And then you look at Minority Report.
Right. But I was
Minority
saying,
Report,
you got Minority Report,
and it does the same
yeah.
thing, except they're actually manipulating some sort of mental vision, which is also outside the realm of possibilities that we are aware of. But that's just so trippy. And when I think about it, it's one of those trippy things, and you're just like, man, how do they even think of trying to do that? You know? You feel me? That's crazy.
Big hose go to the air cleaner. I'm thinking, no, that's not the big hose.
And that would be a little bit shorter than it actually was, right? Because you cut off about this much.
But I don't. Is that the? Oh yeah. That big one for there. Where does that one go? That one goes to the air cleaner. I can see it. And the other one also goes to the air cleaner. Okay. So I need one slightly longer than this for the air cleaner.
Oh, come on now. There. Yeah, so big, this one and this one.
Yep. I got the razor. Second here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks for hanging out. Man, you've got your fair share of me today, haven't you? Two doses, double dosage. Is that how you like it though? Because I don't know. I mean, it seems like some people that stream they're grinding, right? I hear them complaining about it all the time. That they're like, I just did like an 8-hour show.
I was gonna say I have plenty of buddies that have done 8 hours a day, and that was their groove, and it works, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't game that much. I don't know if I could game that much. If you really enjoy gaming,
see, and that's it. Their content is solely gaming.
Because like my boys, you tell them, hey, go game for 8 hours. They'd be like,
okay,
are you serious? Really? You're not going to bug me?
I get that much screen time?
Yeah. And they'd just do it, you know. But me, you told me to go play anything for 8 hours, and I'd be like, what do I get?
I've played well more than 8 hours at a time.
I mean, I enjoy Forza. I enjoy, some Grand Theft Auto. Perhaps I could easily probably lose myself for 8 hours because I could just fight the cops forever, and that never gets old. It just never gets old. But I don't. But people have done that enough times that I don't.
Wow, that's awfully big, huh?
That's really not like the other hose at all.
It's way bigger than the other hose, isn't it?
They just gave that's like a Volkswagen heater hose.
Yeah, compared to. I mean, the problem is this isn't. That's our old hose.
I don't have a clamp of that size.
Yeah, it's just a heater hose, anyways. It just runs the flap.
I think we should use this one.
Yes, we'll use the old one. That's what I've just decided.
We'll save this for VWs.
Yes, we'll save that for
VW air hose,
yeah,
flex hose. Yeah. Yes, many times.
That's a heater hose, isn't it? Or
yeah. Heater hose, heater tube hose.
Yep. Look,
and
I'm being John. I'm cleaning a hose. I mean, that's impressive, right?
Mm-hmm. You're doing the real work now. Slacking off
back here instead of working over there.
Away, scrubbing and cleaning parts. Oh. And talking to the audience the whole time.
I know.
Too.
A lot of work for you.
No wonder I didn't do a good job. I couldn't. This is a very important little piece.
Yep, but just leave that there right now. Nope. This goes to there. Right here. This one we'll have to figure out.
That drops down.
That did drop down. Was it just a...
And it was on the back. Back here. See right on top of this right here, I think.
Can you see it? Can you see that?
Oh, that's wires.
That's wires. Did it actually hook to anything, or was it just a... I think it's just a bleed off. Go see how it comes in here. It doesn't look like it was hooked to anything. Nope. Look at the grub in it. It's just a bleeder.
Okay.
I think it's just to bleed off to vent the atmosphere there.
Okay.
So we know if it's going to start because we got most everything else on now.
Ooh.
Right? I mean, we're down to the air cleaner and some hoses.
Right. That's all the hoses.
That's all the hoses. So,
that's getting mighty exciting. Are you guys excited as we are? Because I'm excited. I'm kind of wishing I would have put that other battery charger on there, not trying to think quite so far ahead as saving the battery. But perhaps I may have saved the battery by you doing that. But it is taking a 5 amp charge, which tells me that the battery is not completely kicked.
Right.
And it really shouldn't be because it was from 2017. And so that's only like 5 years ago. So the battery is like kind of at the end of its...
I feel like I'm kind of glad I bought work pants the other day instead of designer jeans.
Yeah. Are they
like you know, You got designer jeans, I have work pants.
Yeah.
It's kind of working out for both of us, it seems like, doesn't it?
I just wanted to look good today when I was on the show.
Careful. Jack.
I meant to do that. Leslie Walsh, they came for you, he says.
Oh, thank you. You don't need the jack there anymore either.
Oh, okay. Well, while you're sitting around, I'll do work.
Okay, you do that. I'll sit and watch.
You know what? Isn't that a satisfying thing?
It is.
When it goes down. People I've ever worked on cars, there's something about it, and I think the teenagers of today, they talk about the satisfaction of certain
So I have a quick lift.
Okay.
So that pump would go about 2 or 3 times as high each pump, and then once it's hit something, then it goes slow.
Huh.
But it'll jump really quick up to the height.
But just watch this stuff, and this is satisfying.
Barely see the candle.
That
Leaking sounds. Sorry, that's my stuff I gotta pick up. I just haven't.
That's okay. That's okay. Take this stuff off. These are still yet to find homes.
Yes.
And these are some of the clips that will go with those when they find homes.
Yes.
This is a clamp. I did buy some new clamps of these. We needed them, but I also bought them because I was like, you know what? I just don't have enough clamps these days. I feel like I've done work on things lately, and I've been like,
worm clamps are your best, are one of your only choices. But I hate worm clamps. I hate
if you're gonna
hose
do something,
clamps.
put it on right.
There is no good hose clamp. Like you have the right worm clamps. Those are worm drives.
Mm-hmm. And them's the good ones.
The
What
problem is those cut hoses, but then every other one is you need some. If the spring is strong on it, you need some special tool to release them.
Yeah.
Or you're fighting with them, so it's 6 of one, half dozen of another.
Yep. It's the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Shall we see what happens when we try to turn it over?
We can try and see if she goes. If she wants to turn over. No, we don't want to talk about the hoses on the back from Maximum and take Brandon. We also don't want to talk about. It's turning. I know it turns. Turn the engine.
Should have had a charger on there all week. This is the way we started too.
And I didn't bring my booster this week either.
That's okay. It's all back together.
It is.
This is incredibly awesome.
But I would like to hear it start, so I know that.
And it's been a long day. So if we don't have it, start. We're fine with that.
I know. I'm not upset that it's not starting. I just wish it would.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We can wish for a lot of things.
I know everything was lined up. I'm comfortable with that. I just want to hear it run.
It's seized up since last week.
And once I had everything together, I spun it too, so I know it still spins.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that the battery isn't doing something.
Well, I mean,
but it's only been 15 minutes.
Again, you're starting out with a 4-year-old battery, and batteries just don't like. Even if you go to O'Reilly's, a 36-month battery is a really good battery at O'Reilly's now.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't sell.
Crap.
They don't sell 4- and 5-year batteries anymore like they used to. Can't go buy a Die Hard that lasts for 5 years anymore. I miss those days.
So yeah, it's going to need hours on the charger to make it right. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes is not going to do it. So I would say that we call this a good job for the day. The car is entirely back together. Motor mounts in, things all back together. The valve cover is all cleaned up. And we let this charge overnight. And perhaps on tomorrow on Thumbs Up Thursday show, I can turn it over and maybe it would start. And that could kind of be
there's nothing that should prevent it from starting. The only vacuum you have is that. ACV isn't hooked up, but like there's no vacuum that's not going to allow it to start because this goes to the air cleaner too.
Yeah.
So there's no vacuum there or any It just pumps air into
I've had it started
without the air cleaner, right?
With the air cleaner on.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. We're at a point where everything should be good to start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything that would prevent it from starting. Everything's buttoned up on the front.
It just needs time on
Ground's
the charger.
on. Yeah, I don't see anything that would prevent it from starting.
No, let's call that good. This is a good 2.5 hour show. Leslie wants to go to bed.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of anticlimactic. The car didn't start. That's on me for not having the charger on there before this. But this is the way it goes. Really good progress for the day. For 2.5 hours, we have done really awesomely. We, the key word of the day. Yes, in French. Doesn't mean the same thing as we in English. But both are applicable for right now. Yes, we, nosotros.
In theory, if I come next week or next time we have a show, I can't wear this shirt because it won't be broken anymore, right? We'll have to find something else broken.
You can wear any shirt you want.
I have plenty of shirts to wear.
But yeah, we'll call that Nas. Thank you.
No
For
problem.
your work. That's awesome. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me.
Woo.
But yeah, it's been a long day. Early start and 2 shows worth of excitement going on. Tomorrow, Thumbs Up Thursday. I'm gonna be driving on. I'm gonna be driving on the race rig there with the new Thrustmaster T248 wheel. Pretty exciting. So we've got that to look forward to as well. And I don't know. We didn't do stock car rivals this week, so we might have to do that tomorrow because we didn't do it today. But anyways, that's a whole other thing, and we'll think about that tomorrow. And I'm gonna sleep well tonight. You're gonna sleep well tonight because now you're not like
It's just what all going to go on tomorrow, and it wasn't that I wasn't tired. It was just, and then I'm laying there and it's 1:30. I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up. So I got up for another half an hour and then came back, and I finally went to sleep. I think about 2:30.
See, I just suffer. I just suffer through.
And then because you're all the way up here, my alarm went off at 6 o'clock, same time as yours, but I still had a drive in front of me.
Well, mine didn't go off until 7.
Mine went off at 6. Mine went off at 6.
6 is mighty early. That's when I have to get up to take Hudson to school, and those are each one of those days. I'm like, he could just skip school today. No, bad dad. So let's send him out, huh?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, seriously, Nas fixed it. And next week we'll be able to finish this off. Maybe we'll do the carb rebuild and the other little bits and bobs. Some other fuel line. I think I'll pick up some fuel line.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't end up exploding on us. And we'll do part 3, which will be making it even better. But the return
Honda strikes back.
The harness strikes back.
The Honda strikes back will be next week.
Yep.
Be prepared.
The return of the timing belt. Quite exciting. Thank you for hanging out with us here. Yeah, really appreciate that.
Really appreciate it.
Good times, and good fun. Until then, folks.
I'm Seriously Nas.
And I'm John Awana. And
you're not.
And there you go. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
You missed the whole thing!